Morning, everyone. I've just had breakfast, so I'm kind of hoping there's nothing stuck in my teeth because I haven't gotten up. I'm having morning cuddles with Boss. It's the 6th of October 2022, Thursday at 10:34 in the morning. So I woke. When I sit like this, all I see when I watch myself back is the fucking terrible angles and this thing. Anyway, where was I? I woke up at roughly 9 o'clock, looked at the phone. I don't leave, mummy. I don't want you to leave. And there he goes. Anyway, I looked at the clock. It was like 9 a.m. and I was like deep to the world. And I was like, yeah, okay. I'm just gonna snooze for a bit, yeah. And so it was 10 o'clock by the time I actually woke up again and thought it was probably wise to get up. So I've had sandwich, like toasted egg sandwich for breakfast. No, I must admit, I do find it ironic that I have vegan aioli, like garlic aioli and vegan mayo. And really the only difference between regular and vegan is the egg. And then I put it on an egg sandwich. But yeah, that's me. I did not get anything done for myself yesterday because it really does feel like I'm spending a fucking load of time helping other people. And then when I go to do my own stuff, I'm so dead to the world, it's almost impossible to function. Though I have just remembered I have daytime weed, and that is awesome. I'm very, very, very happy. I think I said in the video last night, filled the whole thing, 40 capsules of daytime weed. Maybe I should write the date down and then actually see how long these things last me. Also, my doctor has changed the dosage on the daytime weed. Could be because it's it's a hybrid, so it's not fully wake up daytime weed, but it's mostly sativa and a little bit indica. But yeah, yesterday was the first time I tried it in ages because my original doctor, who I'm with now, couldn't prescribe almost any of the products. Thankfully now she's able to. But there was a little time where I stopped seeing my original doctor. I went to the sort of like bigger dispensary where everything's dealt over the phone. I never even met those doctors. But I could get more stuff, and that's where I discovered Gene Guy, the strand, and fell in love with it. Though it's been obviously a lot longer than I remember, because when I first had some yesterday, I was like, this doesn't taste the same. But then I remembered, and again, I think I took photos. I'm almost positive I've uploaded them, but I'll check. I take so many photos for my website, just so you all know, and then get so lost in my life that the amount of pictures that I've sorted through to upload, as well as so many blogs that I've written that are just sitting in the draft file. Feel free, as my point, to remind me to upload the stuff that I'm actually trying to get through. But yesterday, again, it was one of those days I was like, obviously rattled to the core with the whole police thing, though unbelievably fucking happy that it happened. It was like, it was like destiny, divine timing, but I believe in all of that, so that makes sense. Like, the lawns look amazing. Oh, I'm at that stage where I just look out my kitchen window And it just makes me happy. When my backyard looks the way it currently does, as well as my front yard, it's just this huge feeling of relief and this extra weighted pressure that's put on myself, which I do to myself because, you know, it's all deeply ingrained that I'm trying to work through. And I've just fucking remembered I have therapy today, so I better make sure I get all that shit sorted. But yeah, I can't thank you enough, Andrew, because letting me use your lawnmower and helping me with the edges, I'm so fucking happy. So happy, because like I've been saying for a long time, I suffer pretty severe overwhelm and anxiety. Usually when I'm by myself. This philosophy report, no, that's not right. This personality report I'm doing is really bringing to the forefront a lot of things I do that I don't even realize doing. Like I know I definitely read one to Graham that's absolutely fucking going in my report about how I actually do consider myself a very confident, clever, I don't know, like I'm a nice, confident, happy, know who I am, like can talk about the things that I love and have passion about, with absolute ease with everyone. Let's face it, I absolutely do have the ability to talk to anyone and everyone. The woman around the corner, obviously, like we're talking now a bit, given the circumstances. And I was telling her about, like, yesterday, I was like, did you happen to see the cops and shit? And she's like, no, tell me what happened. And so I sent her the link. And I know there are many people who don't like to watch stuff, but thankfully YouTube does do the transcripts automatically. So I'm like, if you want to watch it but you don't want to watch it, so to speak, put it on silent and read the transcript. But yeah, anyway, we were talking and it just really showed me, like, heightened what happens when I'm by myself. And I've realized, when I said this to Graham, and I may have said it to Andrew, I'm not sure, that what I actually want to do, because this is real life, like this is an assignment, that's true, but this is an assignment based on real data that I completed for my own personality profile. So it's fucking scientific data. And since writing academically causes my brain to go, nope, shit, fuck this, I'm out of here, and just bolt, leaving me in a state of overwhelm where I usually just cry. Writing to all of you, as I've said in the past couple of videos, takes all of that pressure away, because I love telling stories to you, all of you, and again, so grateful to you all. I love knowing that people care enough. So thank you to all of you out there. But I was hoping to obviously try to get to it last night, and that just didn't pan out. But today is the day I will be focusing on it right up until my therapy session, which I am doing online, because as you've said, when I did it in person, it was very quiet, and I knew it was quiet while I was in the office with my therapist. but I didn't really get a chance to ask her off camera why she was speaking. I don't know. I talked about it with Andrew, and I think it was the reality of seeing the fact that I'm actually filming myself that kind of may have tripped the therapist up. Because obviously when I do it here, she doesn't see the camera. She knows it's being recorded because she often talks to you because, let's face it, I don't communicate very well. That's becoming more and more and more apparent. Also starting to think that might be a good thing. Like, I've got a note page in my phone where I've titled it Possible Philosophy Thesis Ideas, and I keep writing what I like, all the things that do my head in society. And the latest one, and one that's feeling like it might really hit home, is how superficial this fucking world is. Like, I can't even ask someone how their shift at work went without being asked why I'm asking. And it's like, you're my friend. I'm curious. You were excited. Therefore, I'm excited for you. Why are you freaking out that I'm asking you how it's going? Like, ugh. Yeah. Does explain why I have fuck all friends though, because most people just care about the surface shit. I could not care about the surface shit at all. Yeah? Which makes me and Graham completely opposites in those senses. So it's good. We kind of help each other out in that way. But it's a nice day and he needs to be walked. The list of bullshit that needs to be done. I need to shower and wash my hair. Every single fucking part of me is in absolutely excruciating pain. Mowing the front and backyard in a day, pulling weeds, going through what I am going to say was a very traumatic fucking experience, okay, because it was in the moment fucking terrifying. And those are the words I'm using, not to make it extreme, but these heavy armored fucking cops, like, I don't think anyone would not have had a reaction that wasn't like, holy fuck, if it had happened to them. I mean, I got one warning: open the gate now or we're kicking it in. How the fuck was I supposed to know that wasn't about me, even though I can't think of anything I'm doing that's overly wrong, except for the fact that, yes, I grow weed. But thankfully the tent and all the bullshit's off, because it's like drying in my spare bedroom. But even then, I've got so much fucking paperwork and all the meds that have just arrived with my name and my doctor and all the bullshit on it. Like, I'm legally allowed it in my house. So, like, if my house smells like weed, it's because I fucking smoke it every day, right? So even that isn't like something that would warrant whatever the fuck was going on, yeah? But like I said to Andrew, I'm a very sensitive, emotional person, quick to tears, quick to panic, quick to overwhelm, none of which I enjoy. It's just my reality. Good, Graham's messaging me saying he feels more human today, so that's lovely. We can keep each other motivated. His philosophy essay is now due on Tuesday the 11th at 11:59, same day my extension on my personality report is due, so that's kind of cool in the sense that we'll both be working together on separate things but virtually together, motivating each other. Lucky him, he's graduating. After his last exam, he's done. I've got frickin' my uni emailing me and reminding me around the goddamn clock to pay for my fucking invoice for my trimester 3, and it's like, I haven't even looked, but considering I'd already paid for a unit that I didn't use, I know the bulk of my bill is due, and I think it's just like the student fees on top. So I'm praying it's not more than like $100 or something, given that I have all at the same time due gas, power, and the motorbike rego. Which is fine because I can pay for it. I am very lucky in the sense that I do know how to deal with money pretty well and have the money to pay for them all. I do choose to see when their due dates are and when I get paid closer to it, because truthfully I like my money in my savings account more than, you know, having to pay something immediately when I might get paid again beforehand. My last payment literally went on all the medication that arrived. Like that box that was not signed and was left, which I'm still making a phone call about. Well over $900 worth of fucking medication in it. And I was supposed to fucking buy that, like, let me think. The THC oil is supposed to last a month, so I've got 2 months worth of that, so that's okay. The the big CBD oil, technically meant to last a month, costs $300. Obviously, I'm trying to make it go further. The prescription on the daytime weed has dropped from 1 gram, which is what was on my last one, to half a gram, so 500 milligrams, which is fine because let's face it, I don't smoke that amount. Though it did hit me yesterday while I was fucking around sorting them all out. And it's funny because I can see shit on my fucking coffee table in front of me and it's just like random bits of weed, eh? Anyway, it hit me yesterday. I was like, I know I have met people, right, who can smoke 1 gram or 2 of weed in a day like that, yeah? And I've never really figured out how, but it hit me yesterday and now I know the difference. So the medical vape that I use, the way it is created or the way it's made or whatever the fuck it is, my brain isn't totally working right now, is obviously made in a way that you get your dosage, but it's so pure, for example. Like, I don't have any of the fancy words to try and explain what I'm saying, but I rolled a joint last night because, as we know, I bought cigarettes like a dummy. I didn't want to be a smoker. I don't want to be a smoker. Sometimes stress gets me to that point where I just know if I don't have a cigarette, it's just gonna fucking make me even more crazy. And I think I mentioned obviously that I'd gone to the neighbours and there was a couple of people outside, and I pinched a couple of cigarettes and I managed to sell the random pair of motorbike gloves I had. Though I do now know that they did rip me off, but that's okay. Because I mentioned a price and they were like, fuck no. And I was like, okay, let's compromise. You can have them for 30. And they were sort of just laughing at me. And I was like, fucked if I don't do. And he goes, I'll give you 20 for them. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, they were given to me. They definitely didn't fit me, so it wasn't like the end of the world. But then the guy on the motorbike, who I'm sure I've talked about before, he rides a Harley. It is so fucking loud. He goes up and down the street, revving. Oh my God, just like, fucking shut up, yeah? Anyway, the other day I got home and I just pulled into my driveway and he was there. And he came over and he was clearly coming to talk to me. And he was like, hey, I'm such and such, you know, do you happen to have any more motorbike gloves for sale? I was like, no. I said, it was just random. I said, I do have a spare set that I don't use, but I got little hands, you know, so they're not going to fit. And that's when he said something like, oh, the guy you sold them to was at, so there's that place, which as far as I'm concerned, let's face it, yesterday showed something's fucking going on. I don't want to say it's a crack house, but it could very well be. But there's obviously a place where they sort of all know each other and they go somewhere else at the same time, because I need more coffee. right? Because he was like, oh, the guy was like, yeah, I got them from the lady that lives next door to such and such. Yeah, I got them for such a good price, blah, 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 which, let's face it, proves he played me. It's very easy to do. I'm a nice, trusting, fucking gullible person who gets taken advantage of constantly. Though I'm really, really trying to figure out how to make that stop. What am I doing? Coffee, people. Anyway, right, so we'd been talking, and men, I don't understand how men, and I'm gonna say some men, I won't generalize that it's all men out there, okay? But this is something that happened that really fucking fucked me off, right? We were talking about whatever we were talking about. Obviously, the conversation of ice came up. Mostly because, let's face it, I'm very cool about talking about it, but I'm trying to gauge just what's going on, yeah? And he started saying, he's immediately started talking about, see, this is where I'm even confused myself. At first it was like, he was like, oh yeah, nah, ice isn't really, and at first I thought he was sort of saying to me he's not into it, but I very quickly figured that it was not what he was saying. He was saying how ice is basically only good for one thing. I was going to say the way the ice came up is we're talking about having motorbike licenses. Anyway, he starts talking about how the fact ice is really only good for sex. Yes? And then he starts telling me all the ways in which he and I are going to meet up and do this, that, and everything else, and that it doesn't count because it's not technically sex. And he's wearing a ring, and I say to him, are you married? And he's like, yeah. I was like, does your wife know you speak to people like this? Now, there are two types of men out there, I've decided, right? Oh, there's lots more, but this could be generalization, but fuck it. These are literally my online diaries, my thoughts, my feelings, where I'm at. If you don't like them, don't watch them, okay? But I have realised, please don't be that out there. Oh, fuck, oh my God, I need to move, eh? I really, really fucking need to move. There's somebody sitting right on my fence, and from behind, looks like him. Almost like he's waiting for me to go outside. I don't know. Anyway, so back to where I was at. Two types of men, in my opinion. When you ask them if they're married and their wife knows how they speak to other women and how they act and, like, let's face it, cheat on other women, and their wife is okay, because I immediately saw the ring and obviously asked. I mean, I wear a ring so people won't ask me. My nails are fucked, but that's from gardening, I guess. And he was like, and this is where the difference comes in, yeah? Right? Now, we're all aware I'm very, very sex positive, okay? I'm sex toy positive. I personally think I'd be a fantastic sex therapist, and all that stuff, yeah. But some married couples have open relationships. That's a given. We know that. That's very common in the world, right? Some marriages are like poly. A friend of mine is dating a woman who was married to somebody else and pregnant, and as far as I can tell, he's not poly, the wife is. And I'm all sorts of sex positive, kink positive, BDSM stuff, blah blah blah. There's not much that'll throw me. Actually, what comes to mind is scat throws me. that's where there's a huge line drawn. And I remember when I first heard that word, I didn't even know what the fuck it meant. And then I was told, and I was like, oh my God. And if you don't know what it means, Google, okay? But anyway, he's like, yeah, of course she knows, blah, 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 blah. Now there's this thing though, right? You can tell the difference. I can tell the difference, at least, because of the kind of person I am, because of the conversations I have. And let's face it, I'm becoming very aware in the last week alone that I think I shoot myself in the foot a lot. But this man wouldn't listen to me. He lied about the fact that his wife is okay with it. It was very blatantly aware he was lying, right? And I said to him, no, about a fucking what feels like a billion times. I was like, you are not listening to me. I was like, I have no interest whatsoever in anything with anyone. I was like, I'm in a very committed relationship with myself, and I have been for years. And I probably think I will be for years, yeah? Even Graham was like, there's no way you could be in any kind of situation where you were trying to expend fucking energy for somebody else. He's like, because you just don't have it for yourself, Liv. And he's right. But this man wouldn't shut up. Now, I think the first mistake I made was not just getting up and walking away the first time. I can see that. I don't always think of that in the moment, yeah? Anyway, he kept mentioning all these different sexual things, but he kept saying, it's not sex. And I'm like, please stop talking. I'm like, you're not listening to me at all. I said, A, I've literally just met you. B, I've told you I'm not fucking interested in the slightest. I was like, C, I've been in a relationship with me for a long time. Why in the world would someone just think that I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing that's working for me to have some random fucking sexual time with some strange fucking man who's clearly on ice and lying to his wife? And I was so past it at this point, right? And he was like, I just need to go down the street and pick up some money from someone that someone owes me, but I'll be back in a bit, and when you hear the bike, come out. Because one of the first things I said to him was, fuck, you're loud. Like, why is it so fucking loud? Like, I have my own goddamn motorbike. Doesn't sound like what he's fucking doing. Anyway, he was like, I'll be back in a bit. And when you hear the bike, come out, right? And I tried to get him to realize that I was not agreeing to this. The man had already disrespected me so many times in the very short period of time we'd been talking. I was like, I'm good. Like I am open to being friends with everyone, but there's not a single part of me that wants to be a friend with a male who is solely pretending to be my friend because that person thinks that they can change my mind. It's not going to happen, okay? If I had wanted to change my mind and have sex with married men, I could have done it by now, yeah? And I don't wish to. I don't wish to have sex with anyone but myself. And that is, again, another point that I fucked up with. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I really got to write down all this shit. Or, as my therapist says, watch these back more often. But I did make the mistake of saying, I don't need a man. I'm having the best sex of my life with myself. And I think that didn't really help the conversation. Anyway, he was basically like, it's happening. He obviously doesn't understand what the word no means. And when he was leaving, I was like, please listen to me. Like, you know, like, if you come past and I'm out, like, smoking a joint, I'll say hi or whatever, but I'm not going to specifically come out. The way he was basically like demanding it. And then by the time he did get back, which wasn't in a little while, it was multiple hours later, I was already in bed working on my assignment. And it was very clear that he wanted me to come out, because not only did I hear the bike coming down the street, he obviously was parked in the neighbour's front yard and revving the fucking shit out of it to very clearly get my attention. And I just thought to myself, you know what? You didn't listen to a fucking word I said earlier. It's apparent what you're going to do, and let's face it, I've gone through a long number of periods of being celibate since Mr. X, because as we're aware, and if you're new to my channel, I have had periods throughout the last 6 years where I've been like, oh, it's okay, I really need some human connection, jump on like fucking dating sites or whatever, meet a few people, maybe go on a date or two, had too much sex with too many people that I don't know, that don't fucking know me, that don't care about me, that I don't care about, don't fucking remember most of the people's names I've even slept with. And the point of that is, I've had more sex in my life at the age of 36 then I don't need to add to that crap, yeah? And I always feel worse after the fact because it's not what I want. And I really, really, really do have the best orgasms of my life by myself. There's only one person in the planet who can get me to orgasm the way that I can. And I think we all know who it is I'm talking about. Yes, the man that I love, right? But anyway, I ignored this man. Yesterday I was in bed again, exhausted, trying to do stuff. Actually, I was talking to the lady around the corner. Oh, we've come up with a name for her. Oh, Brooklyn. That's the one. So I was talking to Brooklyn, who lives around the corner, and asking her if she had happened to see any of what was going on. And she asked for an explanation. So I was texting her and sending it to her. Thankfully, by this point, I had my whole house was locked up. All of the curtains were pulled. All the lights were off, except for the lamp in my bedroom and the light from the TV. Because I'm literally in the middle of texting her, and then I'm hearing this bang, 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 and I'm just like, fuck. And at this point, fear kicked in, I'm going to be honest and say. Like, I'm all about love versus fear, and I can very much tell you my vibrations have been in fear for a bit longer than I'd like. So me and Boss got straight up, right? And because it was banging on the front fucking door. It was dark. It was like 8 something at night last night. And I have this note that I've written to myself. Oh my God, everything hurts, eh? So I don't know if you can sort of see that, right? And what it says is, late at night, the door stays closed. No exceptions, none, Olivia. Right? Especially because if I've been drinking and smoking weed, there's a good chance I'm even more trusting. So I wrote a note. And I refused to even, open the door. And I was standing in the dark in the kitchen with Boss. And I was like, hello, who is it? Excuse me. And he goes, it's me. And I'm like, who is me? And he tells me it's the guy I'd been speaking to the other day. And I'm actually at this point messaging this woman around the corner because I'm like quite freaked out by this point. And I sort of, like I said, didn't open the door at all. I just yelled out, hey, sorry, I'm really not up for visitors right now. I don't have it in me for a catch up. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was a very disappointed, like, sort of vibration. But what made it more freaky is that I was standing in the dark in my kitchen. Now the curtains were pulled, but there was like a gap that someone probably could have seen in. I don't know. I couldn't see out because of the darkness. But I truly think that he just stood there for a while, waiting to see if I'd change my mind, because like that it was eerily silent within my house and I could hear them. So eventually I got back to my room, and I started messaging Graham, because by this point with Brooklyn, I was like, I'm so sorry. I know it's been crazy. Like, I'm just happy that we're talking. I'm here for you, whatever. But I'm so flippin' rattled from today. Like, I don't want to be like overloading onto someone I just basically met, you know? So I switched to Graham and I was like, please help me. I'm freaking the fuck out. Because even though eventually I couldn't hear them here where my bedroom is, I can hear them literally fucking through the window, the wall, whatever. Like, it's very easy for me to hear shit going on outside their house. So it's sort of like, oh my God, I fucked up on multiple occasions because, let's face it, the neighbors are fucking scary. Shit like what happened yesterday doesn't happen for no fucking reason. I should not have talked to the guy. I mean, I should have shut the conversation down and came inside when he didn't listen to me or respect me the first time. Very aware now. But, like, it's like all this information is being sort of thrown back into my mind that I've totally forgotten about. And now that I'm thinking about it, I remember someone, pretty sure it's the guy next door who tried to get me to smoke ice with him for multiple times. I remember someone saying that they're all affiliated to like the bike gangs and real dangerous people and all that sort of stuff. And last night it kind of hit me, and I realized this while talking to Graham, that I love my house like so fucking much. I do. I am aesthetically happy with how my home looks, how the size of it, the yard, the price, all of it. I love it. I'm over the moon. And I was saying all of that to Graham, and I was like, great house, great yard, great price, loving all of it, don't want to have to move if I don't have to. And yet I said to him, but what I love more, higher and above anything else, is my safety and security. And as much as it pains me to say this, I don't feel safe and secure in my home anymore. Not really. Not when, I don't know, I don't. The neighbours are just, well, like I said, I think I'm still in shock. Like, I fucking had to go through and deal with so many fucking things that are just so unexpected, that I've never dealt with. I've never dealt with any of it. But I think I'm going to end it here because I'm about to hit 40 minutes, if you can believe that, and I do have therapy today, so I've got to make sure I got room on my phone, need to shower, need to do all that wonderful stuff, because I have an essay to do. No, an assignment to do. Oh, but quickly on that, I wanted to say, I think what I'm going to do is write sort of like a diary entry to myself, explaining all the different things that have happened and all the different ways I've reacted, right? And then once I've gone through and defined the things that I need to, because we absolutely need examples, I'm going to figure out what example to put where. Because let's face it, these personality tests, they don't account for a lot of stuff, you know, like according to society, I'm extremely mentally ill. I feel perfectly normal and fine, but I don't know, my normal and fine isn't society's normal and fine, I guess. But that's it for now. I really need to reheat my coffee. There's one story on Reddit I was about to start reading because it was actually, I'm trying to avoid Reddit, but I go to the like page, the Google News on your phone, and the story came up and it was clearly linked to Reddit, and I went to start reading that, and then I was like, fuck it, I really want to make a video now. So yeah, thank you all once again. I do just really love having all of you to talk to. I've definitely realized that I had this like epiphany, but I don't think I truly remember what it was. But it was basically along the lines of, oh, yes, I do. You are my family. Like, your family is who you choose, right? And my stories, these ones, my very personal online diary stories, there's no particular audience that I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for anyone and everyone who has ever felt like they are alone, or they're not good enough, or they're not worthy, or they're not doing enough, or whatever bad, sad, negative thoughts and feelings that you may have ingrained deeply within you. You're the people that I want to help, because my darkness is fucked, so fucked, and I don't want people to feel darkness the way I do. And if sharing my very intimate stories helps at all, it's totally worth it for me. So yeah, thank you all once again, and I will speak to you later after therapy.